In this video, for your viewing pleasure, we're going to replace this O-ring that goes between the body and the pump head of this VE pump. We're also going to be changing the seal that goes here at the front, which is two of the most common causes of leaks, so stick around. So having cleaned up the pump, the injector pump, I've got it in my mounting plate here, stand. I've already taken off this bracket, and the reason I took it off is that you can get a 24mm spanner into here to get the solenoid off, and that's the first thing we're going to check using our battery here. Now, I'm sorry I haven't got two cameras today, but we'll have to sort of work this out. Now, when I did take this apart the other day to have a look at it, and I was quite surprised. There was nothing in there. There we go. Boingy's there. The rubber seat is still on. So what we're going to do is test it. Now, let's see if we can zoom over there. And I've got a little test lead here with a fuse in it. Now I'm going to put that on ground. Oh! There you go. So let's test it. You see it working? You can hear it. Nothing wrong with that. So, one thing I did notice is on this side here, I took out the bung that you know you're supposed to lock the shaft with when you're timing up the pump, and there was a few bits of metal particles come out of there, which doesn't sound very encouraging, does it? But anyway, I got my new O-ring, and I got this from Injector Pump UK, I think it was, and they were quite reasonable. I also got a front seal as well, just in case, but I don't want to dive too deep into this because I just want to change the seal, maybe the front seal. The reason is, when you see sort of metal particles, and the reason why this wasn't shutting off was something bizarre, especially when I could unplug the connection and it was still running. So, does it need a complete overhaul? We don't know. But what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to do the seal in here, because it is quite a common problem. So just let me pause and I'll go and get my stuff. Right, so I've got here a T30. I'm going to break off them with a gun, but we're not going to take them out completely. And you can see instantly that the pump head here is starting to come up. Now if we look and zoom into this, you should start to see the seal. Now I'm going to get a screwdriver bit, just a second. Right, back again. And I'm just going to gently ease up the screws so we can see the O-ring. Now, doing this on the car or on the vehicle is extremely tricky. I know some people have done it, but you know, we have to be careful not to get dirt in. And there's the seal. Now, can we let it go a bit more? Yeah, there it is. Now, let me get me pricker. So we're going to use a little pricky thing. We're going to try and hook under that seal and get it out. But you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to just blow any dirt that might be in there. Get it all out of the way before it gets inside. Yeah, that seal's really hard. Yeah. Now I've broken it off, and hopefully we can pull it out. Now it was this bottom corner that was leaking, but maybe you can see this O-ring is no longer a round section, it's square. This is the new one and it's a round section. Right, I'm filming this again because it wasn't too clear, so I'm using a different angle so we can see a bit more clearly, because we couldn't really see the top of the pump. So we've got our O-ring, we've got the old one off, it was all broken and dry and square. We've got a brand new O-ring, we're going to fit it to this pump. But how are we going to fit it? We're not putting the stop solenoid in first. So we took that out, even if it was in the video, we'll take it out. The existing bolts that were in these diagonally opposite corners here, we put them back in just for now, and you'll see the reason why. We've just pulled these bolts up here so the head comes up. That's all it wants. So you just want enough so you can see the gap where the pump is. Don't do it anymore. There's big springs in there, so we don't want to touch that. So we're going to put the O-ring over the top like this, just carefully. You don't want to stretch it too much. You've got to stretch it a little bit. Bring it down and then start to take it round the heads of the bolts like that, and then take it down over the top of the pump, and you can see over the top of the head, sorry, here's a pump, and you can probably see why it is a bit of a stretch and difficult to do on the vehicle. Alright, so now we're going to roll it down and it'll drop in. Now this is why we need extra bolts in here. We're going to take off, this is the original bolt here, you can just screw, whatever you want to call it, screw it up and let the O-ring pop into place. There, just like that. And then screw this one back down again. Same with this one. Screw it out. And then the O-ring will drop into place just like that. See? And then we're going to take these guides out. We just don't want this to come up any further, that's why we're using 4 bolts. You might be able to get away with just the 2, but that's that. So we take that one out. Come on. There. Now we take this one out here. Alright. Now the O-ring has gone into place. Let me take the camera off and I'll show you. Perhaps that's a good view. You can see there the O-ring has gone all the way around there. The next thing we're going to do, just to ease it on, I'll get some Vaseline and a little paintbrush. You can get like 100 of these paintbrushes for $10 on Amazon, they're really cheap. But we're going to put some Vaseline on that O-ring. Why didn't we put any on before? Because it makes it messy. Because inside this housing here there's a taper, so the O-ring guides its way in there. This isn't sealer, by the way, you don't need sealer. And now all we do screw it down evenly. Okay, we're not going to fasten them down properly just yet, because now we're going to fit in our stop solenoid. To make life a little bit simpler, I've put the nut on but left it a little bit loose. Make sure that the stop solenoid, this is a little rubber thing right at the end, just make sure that's on. Guide it into place and fasten it down, and you can probably see why I left the lead on, because it's a bugger to get into. Tighten that down. 24mm key. There we go, just a nip because it's on an O-ring. Next thing, we're going to get our bracket like that. We've got two small Allen bolts here. You can see why we took the bracket off, because now we could get to the stop solenoid really easy. If you try to do that before, you haven't got much of a swing on your spanner, and it makes it extremely difficult to get to that stop solenoid when this is on the vehicle. There's not much room to work. So we'll just finger tighten those down. There we go. And then these two temporary ones we took out, we're going to put back in, because like I say, they hold down the plate as well. This, because there's your mounting, there's your two screws in here to mount to your engine, and this one's for your cable, so it's pretty much straightforward. Now, can you test these? No, you can't. You'll have to put it back on the car to get some fuel pressure. Well, you could do, I suppose, if you want to mess about. Then I'm just going to give them a little nip. And one for the two Allen bolts here. There's not much room to, work. You need a longer extension really. That's it, that's all it's going to get. And that's the seal changed. Relatively easy, relatively cheap job. The next video we're going to do the front seal. Alright, so I'm going to chop this into little bits and pieces for you. Alright, see you later.